Now, what we have been seeing for quite a while is what I call events that are stacking up. We're not just having one thing that is happening, but rather we are having a number of them that are taking place. For example, there are multiple fires in many places. Now quickly, let me give you a two. There is a big difference between the time before the rapture and the time after the rapture. In the time before the rapture, everything happens in diverse places. That means if there is something that's happening, you will have it popping up in multiple places across the earth. Rather it be fires, earthquakes, volcanoes, lawlessness, wars, whatever is happening happens in multiple places. After the rapture, whatever happens globally. So whenever there is an earthquake, it's a global earthquake. Whenever there is a war, it's a global war. Whenever there is a disaster, it's a global disaster. It no longer moves in multiple places, but now total global population. So we have seen nations getting into peace talks. There is earthquakes, shaking, destructions. We have seen Russia aggressiveness with other nations. There have been floodings in cities, villages, and towns. Rapid increase in technology. We dealt with that somewhat on Friday night as well. Lawlessness and refusing to submit to the law. And the big one that recently came out is the alien agenda in terms of government files. All of these are all running together at the same time. Now quickly I want to give you 10 major signs that occurred already for 2025. We are about to close off the first quarter of 2025, and these are 10 things that are running between January to present. Of course, they have spillover from 2024, but these are what we are seeing right now. Number one, there is a rise in unbelief within the churches. We highlighted some of that already. Some observe that numerous congregations are embracing doctrines that deny traditional biblical truth, including the existence of hell and the authority of Scripture. Two, there is advancement in technology in terms of being able to monitor and with regards to surveillance across the world. So the development of digital currency, drone surveillance, is creating a system where individuals can be monitored and controlled, aligning with biblical or with prophecies with a future where buying and selling will be regulated. I don't know if you all have realized, but we even have banks in Trinidad, for example, Republic Bank has come out with a program called Encash. And what do you think is the agenda? They want to encash. And what's going to happen sooner or later in most churches and all that you want to do, rather you want to go for doubles, buy coconut, buy fish by the side of the streets or whatever, you want to pick up a gyro or whatever you want to pick up, they will all have QR codes. And from your phone, you will scan your QR code, so they want to check how much chana you have in every doubles that you're eating. They monitor everything. So that they think when you come to church, there'll be a QR code here, there'll be no more picking up of cash. But rather you will scan your QR code and therefore be able to. I just came back in January from a church in Florida, and they already have that system in place where they have 3 layers of where they pick up. You have one where you can pick up physical cash, 2 where you can wire straight to the church, or 3, there's a QR code that is sent out, and you take your phone and you send it straight to the account. So this thing isn't far. Number 3, there is a proliferation of deceptive practice. The rise of artificial intelligence and deep fake technology make distinguishing truth from falsehood increasingly challenging, which some interpret as a sign of unparalleled deception in the end time. We are getting it very difficult now to distinguish between what is good news or real news from fake news, real report from fake report. Number 4, increase in anti-Semitism. A global rise in anti-Semitic incidents is viewed by some as a fulfillment of biblical prophecies concerning persecution of the Jewish people in the last days, and this is even happening in universities and so on like that. 5, there will be a global focus on Jerusalem. The focus is not on New York, it's not on Paris, it's not on Sydney, it's not in Port of Spain, it's not in Caracas, it's in Jerusalem. Alright? So the growing international tension and dispute over Jerusalem are seen as aligning with prophecies that depicts the city as the focal point of the end time event. For those who weren't here in the last two sessions, let me give you the gauge rod again. Israel is the hour hand, Jerusalem is the minute hand, and Temple Mountain, or the Temple Mount, or where the temple will be, is the second hand. So everything rotates on what's happening in Jerusalem. Number 6, formation of a Middle East alliance. The alliance forming between nations such as Russia, India, Turkey can be a fulfillment of prophecy in Ezekiel 38, which speaks of a coalition rising against Israel. Number 7, threats to Damascus. We have heard of, Christians that have been slaughtered and so on like that inside of Syria, and the ongoing conflict in Syria and the potential destruction of Damascus are seen as aligning with the prophecies of Isaiah 17 that depicts the city will be ruined in the end time. Damascus is the oldest city in the world. You can go all the way back and trace that Abraham passed through and lived in Damascus as well. Alright, and the Bible prophesied that before the end times play off, Damascus will be completely destroyed. Number 8, the rebuilding of the third temple. We believe that current efforts and discussion around rebuilding the Jewish temple in Jerusalem are a significant indicator of the approaching end times. Alright, and that's one of the big ones that we are watching for. It doesn't hinder the rapture, but it tells you the tribulation is closer, and it tells you the second coming is closer. 9, natural disasters and climate events. Recent visions and prophecies about natural disasters such as tsunamis are considered by some as signs of the end times. We have all seen the type of fires last year that passed through Los Angeles, California, different places and so on. These things continue to happen. There was a top, I can't remember what city it was, where there was a flood that came in because of a main water that happened, and a snowstorm came in the night, and by next morning all of the water froze people in their homes, in their cars and so on. Was just in solid ice. Alright, in solid ice. Number 10 is the prediction of Christ's return. Various individuals and groups are predicted specific dates in the second coming, with some pointing to the year beyond 2025 to 2032. The best researchers right now is now looking at 2032, because there was a full blood moon in 1948 when Israel became a nation. There was a full blood moon in 1967 when Jerusalem was back in the hands of Jews, and the next full blood moon is 2032, which seems to indicate that that might have been the year 1832 when Christ was crucified on the cross. So if you're back 7 years out of that, lots of people are looking at 2025 as a year of high acceleration. These predictions are often interpreted based on the different gauging mechanisms we use for biblical prophecy. So these 10 are just 10 summary events that have been happening there over the last close to 3 months here about in what's going on. So what are we here to declare? I support your pastor in indicating that Jesus isn't coming soon only, but that he must be coming soon.